Chapter 39. Bad news, not good news. In the 9th year and 10th month of Zedekiah, king of Judah, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came with his entire army and laid siege to Jerusalem. In the 11th year and 4th month, on the 9th day of Zedekiah's reign, they broke through into the city. All the officers of the king of Babylon came and set themselves up as a ruling council from the middle gate. Nergal-Sharezer of Simigar, Nebuchadnezzar the Rabsaris, Nergal-Sharezer the Rabmag, along with all the other officials of the king of Babylon. When Zedekiah, king of Judah, and his remaining soldiers saw this, they ran for their lives. They slipped out at night on a path in the king's garden, through the gate between two walls, and headed for the wilderness, toward the Jordan Valley. The Babylonian army chased them and caught Zedekiah in the wilderness of Jericho. They seized him and took him to Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, at Riblah, in the country of Hamath. Nebuchadnezzar decided his fate. The king of Babylon killed all the sons of Zedekiah in Riblah, right before his eyes, and then killed all the nobles of Judah. After Zedekiah had seen the slaughter, Nebuchadnezzar blinded him, chained him up, and then took him off to Babylon. Meanwhile, the Babylonians burned down the royal palace, the temple, and all the homes of the people. They leveled the walls of Jerusalem. Nebuzaradan, commander of the king's bodyguard, rounded up everyone left in the city, along with those who had surrendered to him, and herded them off to exile in Babylon. He didn't bother taking the few poor people who had nothing. He left them in the land of Judah to eke out a living as best they could in the vineyards and fields. Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, gave Nebuzaradan, captain of the king's bodyguard, special orders regarding Jeremiah. Look out for him. Make sure nothing bad happens to him. Give him anything he wants. So Nebuzaradan, chief of the king's bodyguards, along with Nebuchadnezzar the Rabsaris, Nergal-Sharezer the Rabmag, and all the chief officers of the king of Babylon, sent for Jeremiah, taking him from the courtyard of the royal guards, and putting him under the care of Gedaliah, son of Ahikam, the son of Shaphan, to be taken home. And so he was able to live with the people. Earlier, while Jeremiah was still in custody in the courtyard of the royal guards, God's message came to him. Go and speak with B.I.B.L.E the Ethiopian. Tell him, God of the angel armies, the God of Israel, says, listen carefully. I will do exactly what I said I would do to this city. Bad news, not good news. When it happens, you will be there to see it. But I'll deliver you on that doomsday. You won't be handed over to those men whom you have good reason to fear. Yes, I'll most certainly save you. You won't be killed. You'll walk out of there safe and sound because you trusted me. God's decree. Chapter 40. Go and live wherever you wish. God's message to Jeremiah, after Nebuzaradan, captain of the bodyguard, set him free at Ramah. When Nebuzaradan came upon him, he was in chains, along with all the other captives from Jerusalem and Judah, who were being herded off to exile in Babylon. The captain of the bodyguard singled out Jeremiah and said to him, Your God pronounced doom on this place. God came and did what he had warned he'd do because you all sinned against God and wouldn't do what he told you. So now, you're all suffering the consequences. But today, Jeremiah, I'm setting you free, taking the chains off your hands. If you'd like to come to Babylon with me, come along. I'll take good care of you. But if you don't want to come to Babylon with me, that's just fine too. Look, the whole land stretches out before you. Do what you like. Go and live wherever you wish. If you want to stay home, go back to Gedaliah, son of Ahikam, son of Shaphan. The king of Babylon made him governor of the cities of Judah. Stay with him and your people. Or go wherever you'd like. It's up to you. The captain of the bodyguard gave him food for the journey and a parting gift, and sent him off. Jeremiah went to Gedaliah, son of Ahikam, at Mizpah, and made his home with him and the people who were left behind in the land. Take care of the land. When the army leaders and their men, who had been hiding out in the fields, heard that the king of Babylon had appointed Gedaliah, son of Ahikam, as governor of the land, putting him in charge of the men, women, and children of the poorest of the poor who hadn't been taken off to exile in Babylon, they came to Gedaliah at Mizpah. Ishmael, son of Nethaniah, Johanan and Jonathan, the sons of Kareah, Sariah, son of Tanhumeth, the sons of Ephai the Netophathite, and Jaazaniah, son of the Maacathite, accompanied by their men. Gedaliah, son of Ahikam, the son of Shaphan, promised them and their men, "You have nothing to fear from the Chaldean officials. Stay here on the land. Be subject to the king of Babylon. You'll get along just fine. My job is to stay here in Mizpah and be your advocate before the Chaldeans when they show up. Your job is to take care of the land, make wine, harvest the summer fruits, press olive oil, store it all in pottery jugs, and settle into the towns that you have taken over." The Judeans who had escaped to Moab, Ammon, Edom, and other countries heard that the king of Babylon had left a few survivors in Judah and made Gedaliah, son of Ahikam, son of Shaphan, governor over them. They all started coming back to Judah from all the places where they'd been scattered. They came to Judah and to Gedaliah at Mizpah, and went to work gathering in a huge supply of wine and summer fruits. One day Johanan, son of Kareah, and all the officers of the army who had been hiding out in the back country came to Gedaliah at Mizpah and told him, "You know, don't you, that Baalis, king of Ammon, has sent Ishmael, son of Nethaniah, to kill you?" But Gedaliah, son of Ahikam, didn't believe them. Then Johanan, son of Kareah, took Gedaliah aside privately in Mizpah. "Let me go and kill Ishmael, son of Nethaniah. No one needs to know about it. Why should we let him kill you and plunge the land into anarchy? Why let everyone you've taken care of be scattered, and what's left of Judah destroyed?" But Gedaliah, son of Ahikam, told Johanan, son of Kareah, "Don't do it. I forbid it. You're spreading a false rumor about Ishmael." Chapter 41. Murder. But in the 7th month, Ishmael, son of Nethaniah, son of Elishama, came. He had royal blood in his veins and had been one of the king's high-ranking officers. He paid a visit to Gedaliah, son of Ahikam, at Mizpah, with 10 of his men. As they were eating together, Ishmael and his 10 men jumped to their feet and knocked Gedaliah down and killed him. Killed the man the king of Babylon had appointed governor of the land. Ishmael also killed all the Judeans who were with Gedaliah in Mizpah, as well as the Chaldean soldiers who were stationed there. On the 2nd day after the murder of Gedaliah, no one yet knew of it, men arrived from Shechem, Shiloh, and Samaria, 80 of them, with their beards shaved, their clothing ripped, and gashes on their bodies. They were pilgrims carrying grain offerings and incense on their way to worship at the temple in Jerusalem. Ishmael, son of Nethaniah, went out from Mizpah to welcome them, weeping ostentatiously. When he greeted them, he invited them in. "Come and meet Gedaliah, son of Ahikam." But as soon as they were inside the city, Ishmael, son of Nethaniah, and his henchmen slaughtered the pilgrims and dumped the bodies in a cistern. 10 of the men talked their way out of the massacre. They bargained with Ishmael. "Don't kill us. We have a hidden store of wheat, barley, olive oil, and honey out in the fields." So he held back and didn't kill them with their fellow pilgrims. Ishmael's reason for dumping the bodies into a cistern was to cover up the earlier murder of Gedaliah. The cistern had been built by King Asa as a defense against Baasha, king of Israel. This was the cistern that Ishmael, son of Nethaniah, filled with the slaughtered men. Ishmael then took everyone else in Mizpah, including the king's daughters entrusted to the care of Gedaliah, son of Ahikam, by Nebuzaradan, the captain of the bodyguard, as prisoners. Rounding up the prisoners, Ishmael, son of Nethaniah, proceeded to take them over into the country of Ammon. Johanan, son of Kareah, and all the army officers with him heard about the atrocities committed by Ishmael, son of Nethaniah. They set off at once after Ishmael, son of Nethaniah. They found him at the large pool at Gibeon. When all the prisoners from Mizpah, who had been taken by Ishmael, saw Johanan, son of Kareah, and the army officers with him, they couldn't believe their eyes. They were so happy. They all rallied around Johanan, son of Kareah, and headed back home. But Ishmael, son of Nethaniah, got away, escaping from Johanan with 8 men into the land of Ammon. Then Johanan, son of Kareah, and the army officers with him gathered together what was left of the people whom Ishmael, son of Nethaniah, had taken prisoner from Mizpah after the murder of Gedaliah, son of Ahikam, men, women, children, eunuchs, and brought them back from Gibeon. They set out at once for Egypt to get away from the Chaldeans, stopping on the way at Girith-Kimham near Bethlehem. They were afraid of what the Chaldeans might do in retaliation of Ishmael, son of Nethaniah's murder of Gedaliah, son of Ahikam, whom the king of Babylon had appointed as governor of the country. Chapter 42. What you fear will catch up with you. All the army officers, led by Johanan, son of Kareah, and Jezaniah, son of Hoshaiah, accompanied by all the people, small and great, came to Jeremiah the prophet and said, "We have a request. Please listen. Pray to your God for us, what's left of us. You can see for yourself how few we are. Pray that your God will tell us the way we should go and what we should do." Jeremiah the prophet said, "I hear your request, and I will pray to your God as you have asked. Whatever God says, I'll pass on to you. I'll tell you everything, holding nothing back." They said to Jeremiah, "Let God be our witness, a true and faithful witness against us, if we don't do everything that your God directs you to tell us. Whether we like it or not, we'll do it. We'll obey whatever our God tells us. Yes, count on us. We'll do it." 10 days later, God's message came to Jeremiah. He called together Johanan, son of Kareah, and all the army officers with him, including all the people, regardless of how much clout they had. He then spoke, "This is the message from God, the God of Israel, to whom you sent me to present your prayer. He says, if you are ready to stick it out in this land, I will build you up and not drag you down. I will plant you and not pull you up like a weed. I feel deep compassion on account of the doom I have visited on you. You don't have to fear the king of Babylon. Your fears are for nothing. I'm on your side, ready to save and deliver you from anything he might do. I'll pour mercy on you. What's more, he will show you mercy. He'll let you come back to your very own land. But do not say, we're not staying around this place, refusing to obey the command of your God, and saying instead, no, we're off to Egypt, where things are peaceful, no wars, no attacking armies, plenty of food. We're going to live there. If what's left of Judah is headed down that road, then listen to God's message. This is what God of the angel armies says. If you've determined to go to Egypt and make that your home, then the very wars you fear will catch up with you in Egypt, and the starvation you dread will track you down in Egypt. You'll die there. Every last one of you who is determined to go to Egypt and make it your home will either be killed, starve, or get sick and die. No survivors, not one. No one will escape the doom that I'll bring upon you. This is the message from God of the angel armies, the God of Israel. In the same way that I swept the citizens of Jerusalem away with my anger and wrath, I'll do the same thing all over again in Egypt. You'll end up being cursed, reviled, ridiculed, and mocked, and you'll never see your homeland again. God has plainly told you, you leftovers from Judah, don't go to Egypt. Could anything be plainer? I warn you this day that you are living out a fantasy. You're making a fatal mistake. Didn't you just now send me to your God, saying, pray for us to our God. Tell us everything that God says, and we'll do it all. Well, now I've told you everything he said, and you haven't obeyed a word of it, not a single word of what your God sent me to tell you. So now let me tell you what will happen next. You'll be killed. You'll starve to death. You'll get sick and die in the wonderful country where you've determined to go and live. Chapter 43. Death, exile, slaughter. When Jeremiah finished telling all the people the whole message that their God had sent him to give them, all these words, Azariah, son of Hoshaiah, and Johanan, son of Kareah, backed by all the self-important men, said to Jeremiah, Liar! Our God never sent you with this message telling us not to go to Egypt and live there. Baruch, son of Neriah, is behind this. He has turned you against us. He's playing into the hands of the Babylonians, so we'll either end up being killed or taken off to exile in Babylon. Johanan, son of Kareah, and the army officers, and the people along with them, wouldn't listen to God's message that they stay in the land of Judah and live there. Johanan, son of Kareah, and the army officers gathered up everyone who was left from Judah, who had come back after being scattered all over the place, the men, women, and children, the king's daughters, all the people that Nebuzaradan, captain of the bodyguard, had left in the care of Gedaliah, son of Ahikam, the son of Shaphan, and last but not least, Jeremiah the prophet, and Baruch, son of Neriah. They entered the land of Egypt in total disobedience of God's message and arrived at the city of Tahpanhes. While in Tahpanhes, God's word came to Jeremiah. Pick up some large stones and cover them with mortar in the vicinity of the pavement that leads up to the building set aside for Pharaoh's use in Tahpanhes. Make sure some of the men of Judah are watching. Then address them. This is what God of the angel armies says. Be on the lookout. I'm sending for and bringing Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, my servant, mind you, and he'll set up his throne on these very stones that I've had buried here, and he'll spread out his canopy over them. He'll come and absolutely smash Egypt, sending each to his assigned fate: death, exile, slaughter. He'll burn down the temples of Egypt's gods. He'll either burn up the gods or haul them off as booty. Like a shepherd who picks lice from his robes, he'll pick Egypt clean, and then he'll walk away without a hand being laid on him. He'll shatter the sacred obelisks at Egypt's house of the sun and make a huge bonfire of the temples of Egypt's gods.